Hey Guitar Ninjas, in this video I am going to review the Vanson Locking Tuners. I've just had the delivery come. Vanson guitar parts. This was on Amazon for $31.90, which I thought was pretty good for locking tuners, so I don't know if these are going to be good. So, the way I'm going to test them is I've got this old Jackson with a Floyd Rose. So, for anybody that knows, the Floyd Rose is really going to challenge if a guitar can stay in tune. So I'm going to put the new tuners on. As you can see, there's already no old tuners in this guitar. So I'm going to put these new tuners on, whack in some strings. I'm going to go from some Diodario 9s. Diodario tend to be pretty good at staying in tune. 9s are quite light, especially with the Floyd. Means I can get really bendy and mess around. We'll really test the tuners by getting them in, stringing it up, tuning it up, and then playing with this tremolo arm, messing around as much as we can. Now this guitar, as you can see, it needs a little bit of TLC, so for this one I'm going to test the tuners and mess around. I've got some new bridge pickups coming, a couple of different ones, so I can do some reviews on those, and I've got some new pot covers and things coming just to make it look nice. So this is kind of a project guitar. This was actually given to me to use as a project guitar. I can't believe somebody would just give me a Jackson, but yeah, Matt, you're awesome. So I've got this guitar, I'm going to shove in the tuners now and have a play around and see how good these are. So again, it's the Vanson Locking Tuners that were £31.90 on Amazon. So I'm going to give these a try, and then in later videos you'll see this guitar come up again to test some different bridge pickups, a bit of product review, and I'll take you through the install. So the first thing that I've noticed is that the washers aren't really cleared on the inside, so getting them over this is actually quite difficult because they've not been deburred on the inside of the washer. But that's the only thing that seems a bit off so far. So with one tuner now in, what I can say is it feels pretty good. It fits the right sizes for the Jackson. The screw hole was exactly lined up. So they're built fairly well. They feel pretty good. They came in some rubbish plastic bags that couldn't hold it, but I'd much rather the money went into the actual tuner than into the packaging. The locks look like they work. Obviously I won't know until I'm in. Everything seemed to tighten up well. So the only thing that I can knock them on is the inside of the washer wasn't deburred. That's literally it, which is really a nothing. So yeah, I'll get the rest in and then we'll test them out. There we go. It's time to restring the guitar, but we've got the Floyd Rose. I've done a whole video on this on the Guitar Ninja Academy. I might make a version available on YouTube at some point, but I'm not going to fill this video full of all of that because it's some hard work. So here's a quick couple of clips and then we'll get into testing. I will, however, do one thing very different because it's the Floyd Rose, and I'll leave the ball end of the string at the tuner end, because by doing that it gives you that extra bit of grip and nothing sharp at the top to catch your finger on. So I will always put the ball end here because I've got to cut the other end no matter what, because it's the Floyd Rose bridge and it doesn't have a ball grip. So yeah, just as a heads up, the ball end is going to be up at the tuners. I think it also looks pretty having the different colours as I'm using the Diodario strings on the tuners. All the strings are now in place. I've just locked up the tuners. Obviously with the ball ends and the fact that we've got a locking nut, I suppose we're not really testing the locking tuners properly. So I am going to have a test with these completely open, unscrewed in, so they're not locking or clamping the strings. So it is literally going from the bridge to the machine heads to the tuners, the tuning pegs. So that should give us a fairly fair test. Now with the ball ends at the end stopping the slip and things like that, that may also be a bit of a false answer. So when I do the next video where I'm playing around with the electronics, where I'm going to put some new humbuckers and perhaps some new tone and volume controls in, when I do that to the guitar, at that point I will then restring and clip off the ball ends, so it's really testing how the tuners work. So if you want that, if you want me to do that in the next video with this guitar, so that it's clipped at the end, leave a comment below, let me know, and I will make sure that I include that in the next video. The next task is to get the strings all set up. Again, like I said, I've got videos on this elsewhere on the Guitar Ninja Academy, and I may throw one up on YouTube, but right now I'm just going to get it done off camera to save this video being really long of me just setting this up, because I'm sure you just want to see how good these tuners are. Okay, so we are in tune. It's time to test this out. Let's do this. So that's a little bit out, but brand new strings settling. Let's give it one more tune, give it one more test without locking these bits up. Okay, so it's retuned, reset up, let's do this. That gives us our first slack. Fix to mess with. We have gone out of tune a bit. It's quite small, but it has gone out. So all in all, the locking tuners might be doing well. It might be the fact that because I left the balls on, I didn't pull it right tight. There's a few things I may have done wrong, so I'm interested in doing a second review of it. But all in all, I think that's pretty impressive for the fact that those locks have not been in, brand new strings, and how much I was dipping and pulling. I'm pretty impressed with them. So I'm going to lock them out now and have another test and just check that everything's staying where it should do. Right, so we're all tuned up. I've done the test without. It did go out a little bit. It was mostly the B and G string, which you kind of expect. Second and third strings always seem to be the ones that go out, and they put the rest out because it's balancing on a bridge. So the tension kind of threw the rest out. So it seemed like it was only one or two strings that were the cause. The locks are definitely on, but now we've got the locking nut on as well. So now it should be perfect. And if it's not, it might not be the tuners worth blaming because they're locked here. It shouldn't affect anything. So if it starts to go out of tune now, we know that the problem is the fact that this is an old Floyd Rose bridge from the early 90s, late 80s. So yeah, it's probably the bridge that's to blame if it goes out of tune again now. Like I say, project guitar, sometimes you have to do a bit of fault finding to work things out. So let's give it some more shred. Oh, let's try some of those huge bends, you know, where you've got to get two hands involved. Okay, crazy time. Let's get a motorbike. Okay, surely it's going to be out of tune now. Let's have a look. Or not. So the bridge seems to have this thing where if I'm looking at my tuner, I've got one dot one way or one dot the other. So if I dip the bridge and then let go without pulling back up, everything stays that little bit low pitched. If I go high, then it goes back to midpoint. So as long as it's obviously something to do with the bridge. When I lift the bridge, it then goes back to its balance point where it should. If I dip, it kind of catches just off of perfect tuning, but so close that my ears, most people's ears, aren't going to pick it up, but the tuner will. So the bridge is definitely doing a job, which means the locking tuners, there was something there with the G and B string going on. Now, again, those strings are wrapped around at least once with the ball end, so there could have been some slip because of the way I've strung them, so I'm not going to blame the tuners yet. But I'll definitely say that they've worked pretty well in general, and we will check if those strings are an issue when I do the pickup upgrade, which should be in the next week or two. So I'll be upgrading the pickup. In fact, I've already got one of the pickups, but I'm going to do a few different variations. So I'm going to do the pickup upgrade, and at that point I will restring as well, get rid of the ball ends, so we can test them as they should be. So thanks guys for checking out this video. All in all, I think I'm happy with them, but we'll find out with the extra test. I believe that the issue is the wrapped around string on those, because the rest held really well. For the amount I was messing around on this Floyd, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, we'll do an extra test to be sure, but I'm going to give them like an 8 out of 10. I would be 10, but I still want to double check what's going on with these. Yeah, that is my review. So again, they are the Vanson Locking Tuners that I got for £31.90. I think that was including delivery off of Amazon. So this guitar has an issue with the jack. I thought it was the volume, which is why I was playing with it then, but yeah, there's something going on in that jack. But again, project guitar, right? That gives me more things to play around with and upgrade. So there we go. The new locking tuners are in there, looking good, sounding alright from what I can tell. And yeah, we'll double check in a later video. Thanks guys for watching. Any of your feedback would be awesome, so leave that in the comments. I am doing some song challenges at the moment, so if you've got idea for song subjects or genres, bits and bobs like that, forfeits, then throw those in the comments as well, and I'll add them to the pool for my next songwriting challenge video. So I hope this video was helpful. Please do the whole standard thumbs up, leave those comments. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to see more, hit that bell so you know when the next one comes out, and I'll catch you in a new video soon. Bye!